Over the past few months, we have been getting some absolutely incredible Fallout 4 mods. Completely new features being implemented into the game, and even with some of these, features from old Fallout games being brought to Fallout 4. So in part of this video, I'm going to show you some of the best new mods you can download right now for Fallout, but I also want to take a look ahead, as over the past couple of months, several DLC-sized mods have gotten revealed with years of progress to show, or even just some pretty wild new updates. But first, I'm going to make your life easier, and that's thanks to today's video sponsor, Bespoke Post. Bespoke Post is a monthly membership club that is totally free to join, and the way this will work is you'll get a knock at the door and a couple of boxes of awesome delivered right to you. With Bespoke Post, 90% of the products come from small brands, many of which are based right here in the United States, like this Forge box I got a few months ago with this insanely detailed Damascus steel knife. This was made right in Pennsylvania by Buck and Bear Knives, and the way things work is you're going to fill out this quick onboarding quiz. But don't worry, this isn't school, so it's actually about things you'll like, and each month thereafter you'll get cool new products based on your answers. This can range from barware to live oysters. Every box of awesome has around $70 worth of goods inside, but only costs you a fraction of the value. And you can even preview boxes before they ship to make sure you're interested, but trust me, you're going to be interested. The Nightcap box has quickly become one of my personal favorites. It includes the Reed diffuser to get that mood just right, a nice crossword puzzle book, some leather coasters with topographic maps on them, and the real star of the show with the Everest whiskey glasses. These feature the Everest Peak etched directly into the glass, and you can even throw them into the freezer to cool down a drink if you'd like. The box has literally everything you need for that perfect end to a day. I know though, that's my favorite personally. The Bullseye box makes that near perfect gift for Father's Day, as that's actually coming up. This includes a tough target face and leather sheath for some carbon steel throwing knives. And well, yeah, I have my Father's Day sorted this year, and I'm probably getting at least one angry text from my mom. But since you watched this video, you're in luck. To get 20% off your first box of awesome, just click that link in the video description, enter code JuiceH20 at checkout, or go to bespokepost.com/JuiceH20. But first up, we have a mod that's actually a part of a bigger mod, that with the beautiful Lewis gun that's going to be a part of the larger Fallout London experience. Fallout London will bring us to post-apocalyptic London, giving us a whole new city to explore, but also a distinct arsenal of weapons. This isn't America anymore. The full Fallout London mod is set to release at some point in 2023, but before that, we've been getting a bunch of standalone releases like this new Lewis gun. This weapon's pretty awesome. It's placed statically in the world at Fort Strong, and you're going to want to go get it as it has this epic animation that plays right as you first find it. This mod author has been doing this with several of their recent mods, and although small, I think it really does add a lot to the mod overall. From there, the Lewis gun is yours. It'll feature its incredibly iconic design, but it's also going to be really well integrated into Fallout 4, as some of the weapon mods will make a big difference here. Whether you apply a carry handle or not will completely change how you hold the weapon, either as a typical rifle or by your side like a heavy machine gun, and this will genuinely make a big difference in gameplay. It's a really fun little quirk of this one. But also, as you fire, you can actually see the magazine spinning on top, which is another small but really nice quirk of this mod, as well as there's going to be a variety of very Fallout themed barrel attachments, so you can turn your Lewis gun into a proper futuristic machine gun. And overall, I found this mod to be a blast. If this is an example of what is to come with the larger Fallout London experience, I definitely think we're in store for something good. But then, if you want to break up the moment-to-moment monotony of Fallout 4's combat, we have the Fallout New Vegas Killcam mod. This is going to implement some of those familiar Fallout New Vegas-like killcams into Fallout 4. So upon finishing off an enemy, a really cool slow-motion effect will play, and these will even come in a few different forms, whether it be a zoom in or just maintaining your own perspective. This mod's really fun, partly because of how much customizability it has. You can set all kinds of criteria for the killcam to activate, whether that be finishing off the last enemy in a certain area, or even just using the final round in your magazine, as well as it has this really nice randomizer option. If you have this turned on, each time the killcam triggers, you'll actually get a slightly different randomized version of it. So it might have more of a zoom in effect, or the slow time will be even longer and slower. Overall, a nice mod to make Fallout 4 feel a bit fresher, definitely makes things a bit more novel on a subsequent playthrough. But then we also have this really great looking new mod with the T-47R power armor. This is designed to be a spin-off of the familiar T-45 power armor, but with the T-47R, more radiation protection was added, which of course makes it perfect for venturing out into a full-on nuclear apocalypse. The base armor looks awesome, but it also features a ton of paint jobs as you're seeing in the background. And there's even a bunch of decals you can apply onto these paint jobs if you want to represent one faction or another. One of the nice features of this one is it also is going to have some unique back attachments. So you can have this really great looking custom made jetpack, but also some more unique options with their own benefits. And this power armor is going to be integrated in a pretty nice way. There's going to be some static locations to find it in game, but there's also this special unique variant that's going to have a map where you have to find each of the pieces in Valentine's Detective Agency. And of course, this unique variant definitely has a few extra bells and whistles. Overall, another great looking power armor coming to Fallout 4, but perhaps with all of this high-tech equipment, you also want a nicer place to store it. Well, for that, we have the Concord Restoration Project Phase 2. This is going to overhaul Concord, turning it into an almost normal-looking town by modern-day standards. With this mod, Concord will now have repaved streets, tons of remodeled homes that are actually enterable, as well as quite a few unique features added on top. It's meant to act as a counter to the plethora of destroyed towns you could typically find in the Commonwealth, and the best part is you can use this place as a settlement for yourself and get a ton of settlers here. Fallout 4 is basically always getting a flood of new weapon mods, but one of the pretty interesting ones that stood out to me was the Ots-14 Groza. It's going to be a new compact SMG or PDW-esque weapon, and I can already hear some of you grumbling. I know at first glance, this just looks like another run-of-the-mill Call of Duty port for Fallout 4, but no, this isn't that, and actually this has some pretty awesome new features. You, of course, will have the familiar suite of customization options, but also a fully functional under-barrel grenade launcher. There's going to be an item you can assign to a hotkey to switch between the main weapon and the under-barrel grenade launcher, and I was actually impressed with how fast this occurred. I don't know if there's just been some better improvements in the Fallout 4 modding scene, but I feel like in the past, this switch between the main weapon and grenade launchers took a lot longer, but this one's really solid. But one of the other pretty cool features is this also works with a new mod, Fake Through Scope. There's going to be an add-on for see-through scopes, which will give you the see-through scope effect instead of the cut to black that's there in vanilla Fallout 4. And when using a fake through scope, you could really see the difference here. Fake through scopes will be a bit rougher around the edges, and if you ever used a real magnified scope on a weapon, this should look pretty familiar to you. It's trying to make the scopes of Fallout 4 feel more like real life, and really is an immersive feature rather than something that has practical or real in-game benefits. It's going to be a preference thing. Do you prefer this scope over the typical see-through scope style? There are a few weapon mods that take advantage of fake through scopes right now, but the Groza is easily one of the newest and best options. With all these new weapons and armors, you need something to do, and on that front, we have the Nordic Europa research facility. This is a brand new dungeon integrated into the game that will be occupied by both raiders and feral ghouls. The goal here is to make it through the very pretty looking dungeon, and even there are some unique obstacles placed throughout. But of course, with it being a dungeon, there's going to be a nice reward at the end for you. Honestly, it's a fairly simple mod, but it doesn't have to be all that complex. It's a well-designed new dungeon mod that fits in really well in Fallout 4. I think the interiors are great looking, as well as, again, that dungeon design in general is top tier. And with how many new weapon and armor mods we get on a daily basis for Fallout 4, it's just nice to have a way to actually use some of those mods. But that's not all, as Fallout 4 just recently got a couple of new DLC-sized quest mod announcements as well. Attack of the Lobotomites is going to be a new DLC-sized quest and content mod. A satellite crashes into an underground complex for the mentally unwell just outside of Quincy. During our journey here, we're going to find ourselves up against the Lobotomites. These are returning characters from Fallout New Vegas, and they've had their brains operated on, which basically creates these aggressive monsters. And this mod will even take things a bit further than what we had in New Vegas to some degree. The Lobotomites here will have visible Tesla coils installed on their body, making them even more terrifying, and there's even going to be some more special variants, such as the Lobotomite Ticker, which is something out of Nightmares, a lobotomite in a straitjacket with a bomb attached to them. And outside of just the core experience of questing, it very much so seems like this will be a nice stuff pack, featuring multiple weapons, armors, and workshop items for you to build. And this mod isn't just some far-out pipe dream. This is a mod that's been in development for almost 3 years already. But that is far from all. One of the other incredible updates we just recently got is that both Wars and Peace are now in closed beta testing. If you're a longtime fan of the channel, you've almost certainly seen me cover these mods. Wars is the weapon addition or replacement suite, while Peace is Project Extend and Change Everything. These are two sister mods bringing huge overhauls to Fallout 4 and have been in development for years now, like literally 7 years of development in the case of Wars. Wars is a huge project aiming to add in a ton of modern weaponry into Fallout 4, and actually a ton of well-integrated weaponry, featuring a ton of customization options, really taking advantage of some of those other Fallout 4 systems. Both Wars, unlike many other weapon mods, it actually has the unique goal of wanting to replace many of the ballistic weapons in Fallout 4 that fell short. So the assault rifle will become a highly modular AR-15, the SMG a proper Tommy gun, and that Tommy gun's actually already released as a pre-release and you could download it right now. And conversely, Peace came a bit after Wars, and it's basically all of the other changes the mod author wanted to make outside of just new weapons. It'll implement things like a new carry weight system with a ton of customization options based off of that, weapon racks becoming a proper feature, and even the healing system in Fallout 4 getting reworked, and a new butchery system. These are big mods with a ton of dev time, and them just recently entering a closed beta is a great sign for an eventual release. And if you're interested in potentially helping out with some of the testing during that closed beta, I'll have a link down below to the post where you can find out more. But then there's also Mind Games. This is an upcoming quest mod that will intertwine directly into Fallout 4's story. In this experience, someone from Nick Valentine's past has returned to the Great Green Jewel with a new missing persons case. The ensuing quest will involve you, Nick, and Piper getting entangled in a multi-faction conflict for control of the sewers under Boston, all the while still searching for your son. Tons of familiar characters will pop up during this, like Kellogg, Skinny Malone, and even Mayor McDonough's true identity becomes a plot point. This will involve joining new factions, more experiences with some of those familiar companions, but also a ton of new locations and tough choices to make. And those choices are a very real thing. The mod author has already uploaded a clip showcasing some of the different outcomes that will result from your choices. This can involve you using things like romance to get your way, doing further jobs for somebody to get that information, or even just helping somebody with their own death in exchange for info from them. All of those interactions with the same NPC at the same quest stage, but what kind of response you get from them will depend on your past decisions. As well as this will just feature a ton of underground content, so Flashlight users can rejoice. You'll have a new underground city to explore that will actually be inhabited. I'm pretty excited for this mod. The vast majority of quest mods out there seek to branch away from Fallout 4's story, so it's honestly refreshing to not only have it built into the main story and our characters' goals, but also just a bunch of existing characters getting a bit more love in Fallout 4. With that in mind though, did you know Fallout 4 modding is actually going through a pretty big change right now? Voice AI has taken the scene by storm, but as quickly as it arrived, it might be going away. So check out this video to get the full details on what's going on with that.